What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 10 of the On the Runs podcast. We are coming to you from, I'm at the marketing room in my office, and I don't know where you are, Erica, but I'm glad to be back after a week in sunny Florida. What's going on?
I'm doing well, man. This weather has been great. Right now I'm holed up in my spare bedroom, so the cats don't bother me today, but this weather has been bonkers, huh? And can you believe it? We made it to 10 episodes. That is double digits, baby. I'm very stoked about this.
I'm pumped. You know, I listen to a guy on the radio quite a bit, and he goes, anyone can make a podcast, anyone. But what are you going to do when you run out of things to talk about? What are you going to talk about on episode 10? What are you going to talk about on episode 17? He always mentions 17. Like, what are you going to do?
Is this a lucky number or something?
I guess so. We've made it to 10, and that's kind of a big deal. And the bigger deal is, This is now 6 straight episodes. We've been consistent every other week. What a cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
You and I are having fun.
You even did work while you were on vacation.
That's right. We'll get into that later. Work for the pod.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, this weather, man, you're not going to believe this. Captain Treadmill over here has actually ran outside twice since we have last spoken. So I had that race I was telling you guys about, the Hyannis Half Marathon. And then I did a training run with Katie the other day. So we had a good time.
How is Katie?
Katie's doing well. She's really looking forward to her NYC half that's coming up in, I think it's 2 weeks. Yeah, she's getting there. She's good.
She's been determined and working hard to get to that. Good for her. Hey, Katie.
Absolutely. It's much deserved.
So
yeah, it's been a long wait.
So I saw you ran the Hyannis. How'd that go?
It went awesome. Do you remember I sent you that clip? Do you wanna play that clip? It kind of describes the whole thing, so I don't have to.
All right. So here is Erica. She sent me this, and give it a listen.
Hey guys. So I just finished the Hyannis half. Check it. Rachel and I ran 3.9 miles before the half, and I managed to squeak in under 2. So I'm really excited about that. And I forgot that I signed up under the Philly category, which is athletes over 140 pounds, because and I placed second in my age group. So pretty good day for me. Really cold, but really jealous about the Florida weather right now. So enjoy it while I can, man. I will talk to you when you get home.
Second place in the Philly division. Tell me about the Philly division.
So like I described to you guys, it's for the females over 140 pounds, which that is, I haven't been 140 pounds since I don't even remember. So I'm well into that category and proud of it, but I don't even know how that came to be, like this whole category thing. Like the males division is called the Clydesdales, and I mean, I feel weird having it have a weight category, but I mean, hey, I fit.
I feel like in Ironman, the Clydesdale division is 225 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Because I couldn't tell you what it is for this, but yeah, 140 pounds, like that's normal average weight for women. So it just,
Well, 225 for me is not normal and average.
Maybe I'm just biased.
We got to get back down for me to 199. We'll go for 199. I was that when I did Ironman Maine. I was 198. So it was cold, but you ran outside.
Oh my gosh, it was freezing. So we were in Hyannis, which is right on the coast. There wasn't too many stretches that were right on the water, but when we were right by the water, we got smacked in the face with like a wall of wind, and it was not fun. It like instantly zapped all of the like heat from my muscles, and like they cramped up, and it was a struggle, not gonna lie. Had some rough times out there, but I'm surprised how well I did.
But
with the extra mileage ahead of time.
You ran under 2 with extra mileage, and why do you have to run extra? Is just the training for cheap or for others?
Yeah, I'm kind of winging my training plan at this point. But whatever long runs I can get in, I will take. So I'm kind of piggybacking off of Rachel's plan. So she had to do 17 miles that day. So I'm like, that sounds great to me. Let's do 17 miles. So yeah, we broke it up, did what we needed extra ahead of time, and then finished the race.
When you're running around for, like, you probably did 3 to 4 miles before, are people looking at you like, crazy? You got to go run a half marathon. What are you doing?
No, there were a ton of people actually running just because it was so cold. Like people were trying to actually warm up before the race. So
True.
we were not the only ones running. We did run a little bit earlier than everybody else, but there was a lot of people around. So it was good.
Well, I remember I prefer to warm up too, and I remember doing it before some races, and I was with friends of ours, like one Matt, he loves to do always this 5K in Maine. He goes, I'm not going to tire myself out. I'm like, you got to get warm, you got to get loose. But you did quite the warm up there, 3 to 4 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it felt good too.
I imagine
Besides
it would.
the freezing cold muscles like halfway through. That was the only part that wasn't fun, but yeah, it was worth it. Had a good time.
Well, cool. All right. Hey, so I want to talk about something. We got a brand new logo. I think we should get into it. You ready?
I am so excited to talk about this thing. Let's get it.
All right. So it's been a long time coming. Like we said, we're episode 10. Maybe we should have had a logo when we started this thing, but we're learning all the time. So we finally have it. We have an On the Runs logo, and it didn't come without our own code brown. I'll tell you what we did. So the first thing we did was after a lot of research, went to 99 Designs. That's 99d.com. And we hosted
How'd you find out about that website, by the way?
YouTube. So
Very nice.
Our podcast host is called Buzzsprout, and they have a YouTube channel, and it is filled with amazing, call it 5 to 10 minute videos that teach you how to podcast and talking about the importance of editing and podcast art. So that's what we got. We got our podcast art. So we went to 99 Designs and we hosted a contest. And in this contest, we filled out a brief description about the two of us, our podcast, what we're about, what our identity is, and graphic designers from around the world competed to make our podcast art.
That's such a cool concept.
It was. And we even shared our Instagram pages and we sent some links for our podcast episodes. We received over 60 different designs. So in the end, we fell in love with one designer and her concept. Her name is Alejandra. Her design showed us that she really read our show description. She even checked out our Instagram pages and listened to part of one of our podcasts. We suggested to listen to Sarah's episode in the Philly story. This was proven, though, when she had a silhouette of Erica in a running skirt, just as our description said. Because, Erica, you always run in a sparkly running skirt.
I was so excited to see that. That was one of the things that caught my eye from her logo. It's she did totally pay attention. And yeah, if I'm not wearing a sparkly skirt, I wear my skirts from Skirt Sports, and I'm rocking a skirt like 90% of the time. So this is good.
You noticed this and you said something about the skirt, and you didn't know at the time. I wrote down Erica always runs in a running skirt.
I didn't know. Yeah, you showed it to me. You're like, what do you think of this? I'm like, that's awesome. She's got my ponytail. She's got my skirt. Like, she paid attention.
I'm wearing a hat, which I do like 40% of the time, more so in the summer, but I loved it. So anyways, it really seemed like she took the time to put her passion into our design versus what many others may have just threw some color and some words out there, maybe a runner, and just hope that something stuck. So we chose to work with Alejandra. Did I say that right?
Alejandra.
All right.
I hope I'm saying it right as
I
well.
know, me
That's
too.
my interpretation.
Exactly. She's from Mexico, by the way. So we had her make some changes from our original design to add toilet paper, and we ended up picking our favorite after she showed us a few, and we got so excited for the logo we picked. I think we released it a little premature. We had a little code brown of our own because, Erica, what happened after we released our logo and put it out there for the world to see?
You know what? I have to say, I did not notice this until you pointed it out when other people pointed it out to you. But our little toilet paper that's coming out from our feet, we had a stray roll, I suppose you could say, which kind of looked a little bit like a little sperm there, little swimmers.
A little swimmer that, just like our podcast, is going to start super small and then grow into something big.
Oh no. I'm glad somebody pointed it out, because it really is one of those things, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Exactly. And I wanted to keep it, and then I was like, nope, I can't. So
I don't think it would have bothered me if we did keep it, because it's a code brown for us. And I mean, it's kind of silly. It's a conversation starter. Like, I don't know. But I am in love with what we have now.
So speaking of what we have now, is we just went
Yeah.
back to her and we said, "Hey, can we make a few minor edits?" So she didn't notice the little swimmer either until I said it, and then she's like, "I can't stop looking at it."
See? Yeah.
So we made some edits and we released it this morning. Actually, today is Monday, the 7th of March. So we're super excited for our new logo that we put out today for all to see. We are not going to get rid of the original, though, from the Instagram post because you know what? Like you said, it's our little code brown.
Mhm.
And it would be fun to look at. You even said you might make some stickers of it just for the OGs.
I feel like the original listeners might appreciate having a sticker of our very own first Code Brown as a podcast. So I'm gonna look into that. I have all the old proofs, so I'll see what I can do.
So you went ahead and did some research, and you went ahead and ordered some stickers and magnets.
I did. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which company is going to be the best for us. So I found a couple different options, and I did some sample orders. So once those come in, we can figure out which has like better coloring and better quality, and then we can put out a bigger order for anybody who wants something. Yeah, we'll have stickers and magnets at least for now.
And for everyone who does reach the beach, be on the lookout because Erica's going to be throwing these magnets on all your vans with maybe some extra stickers.
So excited. I'm going to slap a magnet on every van I can find. It's going to be right next to the penguins, though, so you'll know who it is.
Absolutely. And one day, we'll get some apparel, some T-shirts, hats, hoodies, but no time soon. If you really want one, we're going to try to make some, and maybe we'll have an extra one or two, but that will be a lot of fun.
We should do, if somebody, like anybody shows interest, we can do that custom ink, and we can come up with a design, and then that's like a made to order thing. So we'll see.
That's
Maybe
right.
That's in the interim, we can do something like that.
So we're super excited for the logo, but speaking of someone who's excited for apparel and has been asking us for some, we have a friend, Dave Sweeney, and he's going to be our interview today. You want to talk about Dave before we kick it to the interview?
I am so excited to have Dave. He is literally the Hype Man Extraordinaire. He is our biggest fan, besides my mom. Hi, Mom. And yeah, we're just excited to get to know him. And I hear he's got some pretty good Code Brown stories for us, too. So should we bring him on?
And he was also a mascot, and I never knew that until the interview.
You're gonna ruin the surprise.
He's sorry. Spoiler alert.
But yeah, it's exciting. Let's get into it. Let's bring Dave on.
Let's do it, and we'll see you on the other side. Everyone, enjoy our interview with Dave. Our next On the Runs guest hails from Quincy, Massachusetts, but we all know him from our time at Plymouth State back in the mid-2000s, and since our time at college, we've seen him running all over the country, celebrating every run and milestone with a cold beer in his hand. Now he resides in North Attleboro and has another busy year running ahead of him, and we believe he's got some great stories to share with us. We're pleased to welcome one of our favorite people in the world, Dave Sweeney, to On the Runs. What's up, Dave?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me. It's an honor and privilege to be on your show. It's awesome to be here.
One of
Welcome.
our number one listeners from day one.
He's our Hype Man Extraordinaire. That's your new title, by the way.
And
Hype Man Extraordinaire.
And I got to tell you, I just got a message from one of our previous interviews. Sarah says, "Thanks for the donation."
Anytime.
She
people
said,
helping people.
Yeah, she goes, "You're the first person who's donated for her that she doesn't know." And I go, "Well, you know him now." So, and we'll see her in a couple weeks at the comedy show. We'll talk about that later. Anyways, Dave, Plymouth State. Do you remember when we first met?
Yes, we first met at the Hub. We were watching the Red Sox break the curse of 86 years, and we ate a lot of pizza, and we got some cool T-shirts. If I remember right, it said "Wicked Awesome" on it. I believe you still have it lying around somewhere.
I have it because I take it with me when I go to cool, epic places. I take photo. I give the phone to someone. I go, "Can you take a photo of me and make sure you get the words "Wicked Awesome"? But whether I'm at a stadium or a mountain range, I'm like, you gotta get both. Put me in the side and then get the what is "Wicked Awesome" in the photo.
I know I still have mine somewhere, too. It's been sitting in a drawer, though. It does not get to see much action.
I think the other shirt said, like, "Real fans don't burn couches."
Yep.
We had a little problem with that.
Allegedly.
You can Google that, right?
Well, you were there for it the year before, the big riots.
I was. So the Red Sox had gone down 0-2 in the first round to the Oakland A's, came back, won the next three to win the series to face the Yankees. And I went up to Russell Street because that's where the rugby guys lived. And I got up there before everyone. I'm a fast guy, so I went running out of Smith Hall all the way up there. And next thing I know, there's 500 people behind me. And it was a big party in the street. And then, of course, one person probably threw a couch in or whatever. And I remember the horses showed up, and it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't a good look for the school, I don't think. But, I mean, that was a long time ago. So.
Well, I remember when I was there and the Red Sox won, just police were lined up and down all the streets. You couldn't cross the street. If you lived in Smith and Grafton, you couldn't get across to go to the Hub or Russell Street or the bars. You had to stay on your side of the street. And if you lived in another dorm, you might have had to wait it out a few minutes, or longer than that. So running around the streets of Plymouth, you do a lot of running now, but let's go back to the beginning. When did you start running?
Fourth grade, Quincy Track Club. So I lived in Quincy at the time, and I loved to play sports and be outside, but I played basketball, and I was okay, but you never got enough minutes, I felt like, because every kid played, and that's fine. So my mom knew I was a decent runner, so she took me down there and practiced 4 nights a week. We had meets on Friday nights against Needham, and you could do any event you wanted, and then they tried to figure out what you were good at. So I did it was the 880-yard dash, and I was pretty good at it. I was usually finished second, and I did like the shot put and just hurdles, whatever they wanted. It was a lot of fun. You learned, and all the high school kids were the coaches, and they were
nice. That sounds fun. And I wish I got into that as a kid, but yeah, I was really tall and lanky and just stuck to soccer, so wasted legs.
I ran to get in shape for hockey, cross country in the fall, and I would do track in the spring just to continue to do something until the last few years of high school. We had an ultimate team, but I would remember running. I did only the 1600, which was the mile, and I would remember running. Maybe I was running 7-minute miles, but as I am finishing my third lap to start my final lap, the crowd in the grandstand would be going wild, and it's because the really, really fast runners running like 5:30s or 5:45s were finishing the race, and they were my goal was to not get lapped. And so they were cheering me on, and I would like go as hard as I could to the line and then finish my last lap. And I remember Weston Forsblad was at my high school, and he would always be waiting for me at the very end to say congratulations and good job. Because 7-minute mile is still a wicked good mile, or sub sevens.
It is in my book.
But these guys were in high school running like just under 6 minutes. Insane.
Super fast.
I wish it was 6 in my high school because I would have won all the races. There was kids running 4:30s and 4:35s. And
oh, wow.
It was like you. I was like, I just hope I don't get lapped on the last lap.
I was the same. Absolutely the same. Don't get lapped. All right, so tell me, we do track in high school, right? We go to Plymouth. We're not really running then. You played rugby, and as I remember, you were like the manager of the hockey team, and you were the mascot.
I was the mascot that no one knew about. I had to do an extra semester because I loved Plymouth State so much, or maybe my freshman year, my grades weren't up to par. You can decide. The listeners can decide that one. So they needed a mascot because that's when they switched over to the newer, more friendlier Panther or whatever it was. And I said, well, if no one wants to do it, I'll do it. So I'm a terrible dancer, by the way. But when you're in the suit, no one knows who you are. And it was a secret. No one knew who I was. It was like when they put the pumpkins at the pumpkins on top of the clock tower. No one knows who do it. It's the same thing as the mascot. So
Rounds Hall.
Rounds
That's so
Hall.
cool.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
I was a Plymouth State tour guide, admissions rep. Yep. I brought,
Fancy.
yeah, of course, when they got it, they tour for me, they got it from the best. I loved doing it. It was actually a ton of fun.
I think I jumped on one of your tours one time, actually, just to,
So
Just to do
say
it.
hello.
I would absolutely that would be my style. I would see someone I know and be like, hey, Dave, hey, I got this guy here. He's coming to check out the school. What do you think? What do you want to tell him? I would do that all the time. I would do that to anyone. I would bring them by my friends' dorm rooms and say, this is a dorm room. And I would, anyone who wanted to would come along. The greatest guy in the world, David McBride, was the head of admissions at the time. He's passed on maybe 5 years ago. We bought him a brick, actually, at Plymouth State. We just did all the admissions reps. We just bought him a brick. like his name's on it, and
Oh, wow.
you can see it there. But he got me to do it. He actually called me the day I got accepted to tell me I got into Plymouth State. So he got me to do tours, and I loved it. And sometimes I would joke and say Rounds Hall, the clock tower, was the clock tower in Back to the Future. And one time, my dad's like, "Honey, get the camera," and I was like, "No, I'm just that was a joke. It was a joke."
No, you should have let him believe that. It would give our school some extra clout.
Well, that walking path next to Rounds used to be a street, and so I would tell them that. I would.
That was right by Robbie Frost, my favorite statue. I used to take pictures of him all the time.
How many pictures?
I've got a bunch. We'll check them out. I'll send you one on Facebook.
Dave, speaking of pictures on Facebook, Erica sent me a picture of me and her from 15 years ago.
Wow.
And you know what she said? You had nice hair.
Yeah, I wish I could look at it now. You had longer hair. You had hair. So there you go.
I'll post the picture.
I haven't seen you with hair in a long time.
When I moved to North Carolina, I paid, I think, $55 for a haircut, which was, in my mind, outrageous. And I was like, nope. And I think my mom got me buzzers for that Christmas, and I've been...
Never look back?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I've never paid for a haircut since that $55.
Welcome to girl world, man. Like, this is what we have to deal with all the time. If I didn't get my hair cut by Danielle's sister, I probably would have, I would cut my own hair.
Well, Dave, you're sporting right now this massive beard, and what do you have to do, talking about Erica's girl world and hair care, what do you got to do for that? That thing is massive. What's going on? What's on your face?
So, yeah, I mean, I give so much credit to girls with their hair. I used to be like, really? Like, come on. But now I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Oil, you get shampoo, I have conditioner, I do tea tree, I do foam afterwards. Not every day. Every day is different. Definitely oil every day, and I wash it every day. But yeah, if you don't, it gets pretty nasty. And I get a lot of head nods from the guys with the big beards. So maybe I'm making it in the beard world. I'm not sure yet. But
how long have you been growing it for?
This one since November. I had gone down to Jacksonville for a football game, and I came back, and it was I wear a mask, and it was all dried out. So I grew it after the second week in November. I've had this.
Wow. You're gonna rock it at our race coming up soon, the Shamrock, right?
Oh yeah, that's why I kept it.
Perfect.
Because I'd probably take this off after next week, but I'll keep it till the end of.
All right, good, excellent.
It's massive. I can't wait.
I don't know anybody else who could rock that except for you, Dave.
Appreciate that.
Would we call that red?
Oh, red.
Yeah.
Ginger.
It's gonna ginger, the OG, original ginger. You're gonna fit in so well at the Shamrock.
I hope I win at a beard competition.
Do you have an outfit in mind for this race to go with the beard?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Keep it a secret. I can't wait to see it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So speaking of races and stories, I think you got a few. Let's talk. You've done Boston, Wisconsin, the Marines, Rhode Island. You've done some Disney. Let's share us some of your favorite.
Eric and I both done Dopey, which is I think incredible. Just to do 48.6 miles over 4 days, your body goes through so much transformation because to me it's a runcation. I'm still gonna party. I'm still gonna drink. Before the 5K and 10K, it was my brother-in-law. He's retired Special Forces Army, so of course we gotta drink beers and hang out. In the expo, people give you the funniest looks. You get a beer and people are like, "What's this guy doing?" It's I'm here to have a good time. Still running, and I've trained like anyone else. But
that's what I like about those races.
Yeah, Dopey
so
was
fun
a lot
to
of fun. I really enjoyed it.
You gonna do Dopey with us in maybe 2024?
Yeah, we'll see. We just booked Tara and I just booked Barbados sandals in 2023, so maybe that we'll go down there for that. But yeah, Marine Corps Marathon, I really enjoyed it. Did that 2 years in a row, 17 and 18. Very flat, should be on everyone's bucket list. Very patriotic. I'm an Army vet, so there was a lot of motivation out there. A lot of great people. Very flat, like I said. A lot of parties on the course. The expo was really well done. The only problem on 18 was that the transportation there was kind of messed up. But other than that, it was great. And 18 was awesome because ran the marathon and the Red Sox won the World Series the same night. And then I got to fly to Buffalo the next day. So it was a lot of fun.
Damn, that's a busy weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely on my bucket list.
Now you ran Boston. How do you get into that? Because we've talked about this. on other episodes, and I think you were a little different. You got in. How do you get in?
So I got in. So when the bombings happened, I was overseas with my Army unit. We were in transit, which means we were getting ready to come home. We're still on a base, waiting for final clearance to leave. So we left probably 4 days after that. So when the bombings happened, I said, I want to run the marathon next year. It's always been on my bucket list. I always wanted to do it. And the Army sponsored me, the National Guard, which was great. I had to pay my entrance fee, no problem. I went to the expo and made a rookie mistake that no one should ever make that listens to this podcast and buy something that you've never trained in. I bought compression socks, never used them, and it hurt my calf pretty good. I think I walked the last 20 miles. The cool part was that Meb won, which was amazing. And I was at mile 6. I'm in the last corral and you got to wait. And the party in Framingham, Mass. Framingham is a lot of Brazilian people. And it was it looked like, I've never been to Mardi Gras or anything in Brazil, but it was absolutely insane. It was awesome. You couldn't even run anymore. There's people in the street. It was awesome.
Wow. That sounds crazy. So Dave, going back to the Disney marathons, I hear you got some code browns for us. You wanna share those?
Yes, like I said, Dopey was a big party. Like the first couple days you're down there, you're relaxing, you're having some drinks. And then, so you have to get up at 3 a.m. to run these races. And it's, you're not a morning person. I don't know how you
I am absolutely not a morning. Really rough wake-up calls.
And that's going to mess with your GI system.
So Black Rifle Coffee, which one of my favorite coffees now. They're all it's veteran owned and operated. I knew nothing about it at the time. My brother-in-law was like, "Hey Dave, I'll make some coffee in the morning and we'll put it in cups. We'll get on the bus to the start line." I'm like, "Yeah, fine, no problem." Everything's great. It was kept me good. I used the bathroom before. Everything's fine. Start the 10K, and the first mile I was like, "Oh no, really? Like this really happens to people?" I made it to the porta potty that no one knew about. It was dark. It must have been for the construction workers. I opened the first door. There's someone in it that didn't shut the door, so she screams. So the second one, I made it in.
She screams.
And, she screams. It was. She should have locked the door. So I did my business, came out, felt great, and then so you think I'd learn after that day? No, next day, half marathon, same thing. Black Rifle Coffee. I made it to mile 3 this time, and I was like, there was a line, and I'm just, it was. I always have baby wipes, and the Johnson & Johnson baby wipes. Shout out to them for saving the day. So
did you learn your lesson the next day? Because you said that was the half.
Yeah, the full. I did sip on a little coffee, but I was very careful. I actually, it took about 3 sips. I said, I'm not going for the trifecta this time. No way.
Yeah, when you got to do that, man, and you're like, I really need to, but it's not there. You just take a little bit, get a little caffeine, and boom.
That was no joke. And then I did a half last Labor Day in New Haven, Connecticut. So I have all the New England states crossed off for halves. Now because of Connecticut, and I went there, nice little downtown area, and I always have baby wipes with me wherever I go to a race. So there's people all in the porta potties with no toilet paper, and they didn't know what to do. I was like, you rookies.
Always run with baby wipes.
Oh boy, yep, I've learned that too.
Always.
Yep, that's rough.
Well, so you've done I want to say 20 something half marathons and 5 or 6 marathons. What's the goal?
The goal, it's going to sound crazy, probably a half in every state. I know Erica's trying to do a full in every state. To me,
you're not crazy.
After a marathon, there's no better high. I'm sure after like an Ironman, there's no better high, but my body is just not, it's built, but it's not. I get to mile 22 and I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I think I'm just going to stick with halves. And I got a bunch lined up this year. I got next Sunday in East Providence through Ocean State Multisport. Awesome company, very small. Guy's name is Gary, covered in tattoos, jacked, looks like he'd kill everyone. Nicest guy I'd ever meet. He ran races during 2020 that no one else that I know of in New England did races. He just had to wear a mask to the start and all the precautions. Not a lot of people watching, but great courses in Rhode Island. And so shout out to them. They do a great job. So next Sunday will be my 25th. And then I'm doing Shamrock with you guys, which I'm very excited about.
Yes, we're looking forward to it.
I can't wait. And then the weekend after that, I'm headed to Atlantic City to do a half. So I'm very excited for that.
You should come. Nice. You should come back here and do the Goffstown Gallop.
When's that?
It's in June, end of June. It's like the 25th, I think.
We're going to party at Steve's house after. He doesn't. I actually told him, and he goes, I might not live there. I go, well, we're going to party
Steve
there.
doesn't know. Whether he lives there or not. Okay.
Yeah, you go, I might not be there by then. I go, well, we're partying there.
I told you we can sneak some beers and drink them in the parking lot of my high school.
That's right.
Nice.
I would have liked to do that before, but I never thought of it. But yeah, it's a 5.2 mile race, so it's nothing too bad. But I even talked to Katie, and she's like, I'm maybe gonna do it with you guys. I don't know how excited she was about it. That hill in the middle is kind of a doozy, but we will see.
That is the race that got Erica hooked. She did the Goffstown Gallop, got hooked, and then you ran a race. You tried to sign up every weekend in the summer for something.
Yeah, I try. You got to keep busy,
especially when you have no kids.
Yeah, it does make it easy.
I say that because it makes it easy. My life's the opposite. It's like, let me check the schedule.
Yeah, well, seriously, yeah. 3 kids is gonna run you ragged. So,
hey, let's talk Buffalo. So you're a huge Boston Bruins, Boston Celtics, Boston Red Sox fan. And then for some reason, you're a gigantic Buffalo Bills fan. Let's get into that. How'd that happen?
So growing up, I'm 37. So growing up, the Bills the Patriots weren't very good. They were never on TV. It was the Bills on 1 o'clock, the Dolphins with Dan Marino. It was Houston. And 4 o'clock, you had John Madden and Pat Summerall. They do the Cowboys, 49ers, whoever was good in the NFC. I always liked red, white, and blue. My grandfather, he loved football, but he just didn't have a team. He actually was a huge baseball fan, loved the Red Sox and the Cardinals, which is interesting because he passed in 99 and then they played each other in 04 in the World Series. So it was very interesting. But I stuck with them and they started going to all the Super Bowls. I think the last Super Bowl they lost, I was 11. And I remember I had to go to school the next day. And now people won't admit this today, but a lot of Patriots fans were Cowboys fans when I was a kid because they were good. Well-deserved, great teams. And I stuck with the Bills ever since. And people are like, you're crazy. They're terrible. I had to live through 20 years of Tom Brady, the GOAT. And there's a lot of Bills fans in New England. You'd be surprised. The Harp, which is across from the Garden, on Sunday, that's Bills backers of Boston. They've been there since 92. And then the Bleacher Bar at Fenway is also Bills backers bar. So, there's Bills fans everywhere you go. So Tara and I tried to take 2 road trips a year or 2 away games because we will go to Buffalo. But last year we went to Jacksonville. We went to Nashville. Nashville is an amazing city. And I ran a race while I was out there too. I did a 15K after a night of drinking. Definitely not recommend that, but it was a lot of fun. Every time we try to go somewhere and do the Wisconsin half I did. We went out to Wisconsin, an amazing state. I don't know if you guys have been. Absolutely incredible people.
I haven't been yet.
And I did. You got to go. It's just outside of New England, people are it's amazing. So they had a half marathon and I did it. It was on my birthday. And then the next day was Bills at Green Bay. And it was Josh Allen's rookie year and it was a terrible game. But the people were so nice, the food, the beer. And but yeah, so I've been a Bills fan this whole time. So they've had a good run the last couple of years. It was tough this year, the way it ended. But it was nice to go to games. I went to 7 games this year. I got to see Matt Ryan. And
that's a
Buffalo.
lot.
7 games, including the playoff game that they beat the Patriots. So that was a nice ride home on 90, passing all the Patriots fans on 90 on the way home.
I got to say, I don't know if people might have missed it, but you did recognize Tom Brady as the GOAT.
Yeah, I mean, people don't like saying that. It's like, but it is what it is. I'm a Celtics fan, but you could say Larry Bird's the GOAT, but Michael Jordan I thought was the better player. But they're both, you could argue that all day long. So, Brady's stuff speaks for himself. You can like him. I actually liked him when he was on Tampa because he was his own guy. He just did whatever he wanted. He just laughed. Felt like when he was in New England, he's under a tight leash. But, it is what it is.
I'm a big TB12 fan, the person, the personality, and the brand. What he's done, especially in the last 10 years at his age, and he'll continue to do even though he's done with football, supposedly. I'm a big fan of that. That's impressive.
I like me some Tom Brady.
So when I was in Wisconsin, I went to a Milwaukee Brewers game. And that stadium
I did too.
That stadium's gigantic. Miller Park.
Awesome place. You can tailgate there before a baseball game. That's unbelievable.
Compared to Fenway, Fenway is just like your behind your high school baseball field when you compare it to this Milwaukee Brewers Stadium, Miller Park. We were there for NASCAR. We were at Road America, and we were there, very early the day before and looking for something to do in Milwaukee. So we went to the game. That was cool. So I've been to Milwaukee at least, or Wisconsin twice. No, I've been more than twice because I was in Madison for another NASCAR thing. Wisconsin's cool, but I like how you go there, you do a game, and you do a race, like Nashville,
Yeah, you try to incorporate something. I mean, if you're going to, like Nashville, we did 4 nights, which was probably 4 too many. But yeah, I threw a race in there. I try to coordinate, a race if I'm going on vacation or, something to look forward to if you can.
Where are you and your wife going on a trip, you said, next year?
Yeah, we go on a lot of trips because, we don't have kids, but we just booked Sandals in 2023 in Barbados. Actually, a couple of my Buffalo friends, Nick Fitzpatrick, he was the goalie of the hockey team my senior year. His brother is getting married down in Mexico in November, so we'll be down there for that.
So you got to find a race on those trips.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, Mexico, I don't know if I want to leave the resort without, a full squad with me, but
Mexico is great. The people are awesome, super friendly. Don't believe everything you see in the news. Mexico is awesome. Loved it. Loved it when I went. I know a lot of people do stay in the resorts in the Cancun area, but if you go down to like Playa del Carmen, Cozumel, you can get a scooter and just go around, dude. It's great. And even other parts like Baja. I'm talking like I've been there. I have not been to Baja. But I know Ryan Van Duzer's been, and he says the people there are amazing, and there's nothing really to be scared of. You just stay out of the bad streets. And yeah, bring a friend, but...
Easy for you to say. I haven't been to Mexico yet.
I had a blast. I was really on my own, and I got stranded in Cozumel on a scooter that broke down. Not kidding.
You were by yourself?
Yes. So it was the day after the Ironman, and Scott was like immobile. He couldn't move around. I rented a scooter. I went and wanted to drive it around the island, and I got stranded when it broke down. I walked 2 miles to the closest bar, no cell phone service, and I just drank at this bar, and then all of a sudden, my phone dinged, and I got like a hockey email, and I was able to quickly call the guy from the scooter rental, and he goes, no problem, be there in 45 minutes. 2 hours later, he finally shows up with so my first scooter was like your 2001 Honda Civic, right? Came over with like a brand new Mercedes of a scooter. And he goes, I was supposed to return it at the internet. He goes, you're fine, return it sometime tomorrow. And the only thing that sucked was the next day was my flight. So I returned it in the morning, and I didn't get to use it for the whole day or complete my trip around the island. But yeah, so I got stranded on my own, and I was fine. People would pull over and try to help me, but they spoke no English, and they would take down the number on the scooter paperwork and be like, give me a thumbs up, like, you'll be fine. They'll come and help you or whatever. I couldn't understand them. Check it out on Instagram. I got it in my highlights. Stranded in Cozumel. It was epic. Okay. I'll share it. Maybe I'll add it to our On the Run story one day when I'm looking for something to do. It was, So Mexico is great, dude. When you go on these trips, definitely find some, races to run. It just makes it so cool. Like I was in Lake Placid for a wedding, and the next morning, the day of the wedding, was a half marathon, and I, partied all night with the guys, ran the half marathon. I PR'd, and granted, it was my second or third half. And I'm like, I got a T-shirt, and I got a pint glass that says Lake Placid Half Marathon. It was the Lake Placid Classic.
I got to give you guys credit for pulling out those good races after nights of drinking, because I did that last night just drinking, and I can't hang. I'm so tired, and credit where credit is due.
Just got to carb up, right? Like the pizza before
I'm gonna need some bread carbs over the beer carbs, though. Those are the carbs I'm gonna want.
Yeah.
So I think Buffalo, I'm doing the half marathon Memorial Day weekend. So I did it 2019, I think I did it. And it was awesome. Dave McGilvery, the guy who is the BAA director, he is trying to get Buffalo almost as good as Boston. It will never be as good, but he's very he's like the hype man. So he was very up there. I got to meet him. He was the keynote speaker. There was a pasta party beforehand. So I ran. My goal was to break 2 hours. I'm gonna break 2 hours. I love Buffalo. Gonna do it. They had pacers out there. I'm like, perfect. My first 7 miles was an hour. I'm like, perfect. Nope, died the second half. But it was so much fun. They had someone out there trying to qualify for the Olympics for the marathon. I don't remember who they were, and I was saying that, Nude. I was like, I hope I don't get lapped by a marathon runner. I ran like I think I ran like a 2:08, and they ran like a 2. Like it was close. It was like 2:20. I was like, oh no.
Oh, wow.
That guy just ran a 2:02 today. Was it today, Erica?
Elliot, oh my God, I love him. So it was actually, well, yeah, Saturday night at like 7:00 is when the Tokyo Marathon started because of the time difference. But yeah, the goat of running, Eliud Kipchoge, ran the fastest time on Japanese soil at he did a 2:02, and he just looks so effortless doing that stuff. And then Bridget Kosgei, she's also a Kenyan runner. She ran a 2:16, which was the fastest on Japanese soil as well for a woman. So there was awesome stuff going on in the running world this week. Very cool.
I'm going to read these splits to you. All right. These
you
are,
got them? Nice.
These are, his splits, 5K was a 14:17. At 10K, 14:20. So I'm guessing this is every 5K, right?
Yeah.
15K, he ran 14:39. 20K, 14:37. 25K, 14:33. 30K, 14:25. 35K, 14:39. And 40K, 14:33. Finishing time of 2:02:40.
The consistency is just incredible. I have not been able to nail that down myself, but someday maybe. But yeah, it's just awe-inspiring. I love it because he is trying to win all of the World Marathon majors. So this was his 4th win. And I think he still has like Boston and what's the other one? Chicago maybe? But he won at least one of all the others. It's so cool.
Wow.
Yep. I am impressed.
That's crazy.
The GOAT.
That's insane.
I can't pronounce his
Really is.
name. I'm not even going to try.
Eliud. It's Eliud. Like almost like Elliot. Kipchoge.
Okay.
That's how I like to think of it.
And then you mentioned the woman who made the quickest ever marathon on Japanese soil as well.
Yep. She recently, I think she's got a record in Chicago as well. I'd have to look into this more, but she isn't it an American record? No, because Kira has that. I don't know. I'll get that for another day. But yeah, she's super fast too.
Dave, did you know Erica's like, you know how you and I might DVR a hockey game or a football game? She DVRs the marathons. Eric, I saw the video the other day of you trying to describe to me that epic race that I was
fascinating to me.
And I love it.
I think I was talking to you about the 2018 Boston Marathon. And you were secretly filming me, and I was like I got all like animated with hand signals and like but I mean it is so interesting to me. It's one of my passions and I like to watch it. So yeah, it's like the NASCAR for you, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Brandon hates it. He thinks it's super boring. So I'm like, all right, fine. I'll watch it when you're not around.
We all got our thing. I love it. Yeah. I'm going to have to get into it. I'll go. There'll be a big race one day. You record it and I'll come over and watch it with you.
I'll tape it for like Boston. Boston will come up and then we'll watch it.
That's right. And when we come home, we'll watch it one day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll record while watching it.
Yeah, I was really bummed though for the Tokyo one. You could only stream it on one website and you had to pay. And I was like, I don't want to pay like $11 just to watch this one race. So that I was following it like through Twitter like you were and stuff, but didn't make me happy.
Hey Dave, I'm going to do this right now because you just donated to Sarah and that's next on our podcast. So I'm going to do this now since you're here. Maybe I can talk you into coming up to Salem on April 9th because on April 9th, our friend Sarah is having her comedy fundraiser featuring top local comedians to benefit Comedy for the Kids supporting MGH pediatric patients. It is Saturday, April 9th at the Derry Salem Elks on 39 Shadow Lake Road in Salem, New Hampshire. And guess what? One of their sponsors is the On the Runs podcast.
Nice.
Our first ever sponsored event.
You guys are killing it.
We're going to have our name on those show cards and maybe on a banner or something. And I don't know, it's big. It felt like the right thing to do. It felt like it really did feel like the right thing to do. So there'll be a cash bar, ATMs on site. There'll be raffles, a 50-50, a silent auction. It is an 18-plus event, and tickets are $20. So I'm not going to read you the whole website here. I'm going to leave the link in our show description, whether you're on Spotify or Google Podcasts. And also, you can follow Sarah on Instagram, and we'll share those too with her stories. So, Comedy Fundraiser Night, that's going to be fun. We talked about it before, April 9th. Erica and I will be there as we're sponsors in. Erica, I think you got some stickers.
I do. I just ordered from a couple different companies trying to figure out who's the best, but I'll have some stickers and some magnets to give out to people who want them.
Awesome. Yes. So that will be a lot of fun. Anyways, Dave, anything else you want to talk about before we go?
I think I'm good.
I want to thank you because you've been one of our biggest supporters from day one. And when I say day one, it was last July in NASCAR when I'm like, dude, I'm thinking about doing a podcast. So people who don't know, Dave and I camp at NASCAR not together, but we camp there every year and we catch up. And we try to run.
We're supposed to run every year and we don't.
But I can say I've ran most times, and I think you missed the train.
I did. Well, that one year that was like we partied into the night, and then it was like 83 degrees at 7 a.m. I was like, I'm not doing it.
Really appreciate you coming on. Really appreciate you being a fan. This is a lot of fun. You have been supporting us since day one, so big time appreciate that.
Yeah, we love all the hype you give us. It's so nice to have somebody to do this for, you know? So thank you so much for coming on, Dave.
Yeah, thanks for having me. You guys, I listen to 2 podcasts, and I didn't even know really much about podcasts. I was like, all right, and yeah, you guys get me through the day sometimes at work. So
I got to ask.
Makes you feel so special.
I got to ask, what's the other podcast?
I'm glad you asked. Obviously, I'm a Bills fan, so Reed Ferguson, who is the long snapper for the Bills, he does a podcast with his brother, who's the long snapper for the Dolphins. So they talk about everything, not just football. They're actually, it's very interesting. They're big baseball and beer and everything. It's very interesting to listen to them as well.
Didn't you have a shout out that you wanted to give?
Well, yeah, Bills Mafia, obviously. And then Ocean State Multisport, I think I said earlier.
You had mentioned your CBD stuff.
Oh, yeah. So,
Tell us about that.
So I started a little side hustle. It's not taken off the ground yet, but my friend Kristen Resendez, who's also went to Plymouth State, she is a advocate for Green Compass CBD. So I didn't know much about CBD. I did a lot of research, and definitely helps with my gout, my arthritis. There's all kinds of different products. There's a link in my bio on Instagram at OriginalGinger84. Any questions people have. There's no THC in there. You don't get high. It's definitely good products. The sleep one is the best product, I think. You don't wake up groggy. You don't have weird dreams. And the thing is, you don't have to take them every day. Some days I do and some days I don't. But I notice the longer you don't take it, you can your joints and stuff will get messed up. But yeah, I love it. It's Green Compass, great company. There's a lot of great companies out there for CBD products. Definitely changed my life for the better, and definitely looking forward to people jumping on.
Very cool.
Well, awesome. Thanks for jumping on with us, dude. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks at Shamrock.
Shamrock. All right, I'll see you guys later.
You're the man, bud.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you so much for coming on today, Dave. We had a blast talking to you and learning more about you, and you are just an awesome person. So we appreciate you for coming on and being our biggest hype man.
I think you got to correct yourself about some marathon info you gave us.
You know what I do? I did a little research since we last talked, but so my man, the GOAT, Eliud Kipchoge, he just needs to win Boston and New York City, not Chicago. So I did a little research, wanted to correct myself. So he's gonna do it. I don't know when he's planning on running those though. It could be this year. Both races are still coming up.
We will be there if it's Boston. We will have to be
so
there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm gonna strap a GoPro to my head so I can get all the runners going by.
I hope he does New York first though. So Boston would be the last one.
It would be pretty epic for him because he's going to earn his 6-star medal. So why not do it in Boston, somewhere cool?
Has he done Boston before?
Because
he's just trying to win all 6.
He's trying to win them, but he would, if he had already run it, he would have had, it would have counted as a star for him whether he won it or not. I didn't win Boston, but I have it as a star.
You would get the medal, yes, but I think his goal is to win all 6.
That is his goal, yes. But I feel like he hasn't run it yet just because they haven't counted it as a star. But again, I can look at this and get back to you guys on the next episode. We'll see what he's done.
Well, I wanted to mention, and I didn't mention it in the interview, but speaking of Dave and the city of Boston, I lived in North Carolina when the Bruins won the Stanley Cup, and I flew home for the parade, and that guy joined me on like the hottest day of the year. He's out there wearing like Boston Bruins pajama pants.
Really?
No, well,
was that?
I got to go back.
Was that all he had for Boston Bruins gear?
Well, maybe
pajama
like he was not showing any skin. Like I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, and I think he was covered, head to toe, or shoulders to feet. But I remember being like, dude, it's so hot. But he was so into it. Big diehard Boston Bruins fans, the two of us are. So we were there for the parade. It was a blast, and it was one of the other times I got to see him. And I think he was at the time also like lucky to be home or just got home from wherever he was, whether he was stationed somewhere or traveling, I forget, but I think he just got home. And he went out by himself and met me down in Boston with my dad and cheered on the Bruins as they came by on the duck boats.
That sounds like a blast.
I love Dave.
I've yet to go to one of those parades.
It's the only one I went to. It's the only important one to go to. This is the Stanley Cup. I love Dave. Dave, thank you for coming on, man. That was so much fun, and we'll have you again. We'll see you in a couple weeks at the Shamrock.
Yes, looking forward to that.
All right, so, hey, I think we're done with running. You think we're done with running on this podcast?
For the most part, but you got to fill me in on your Florida trip here. It's like you had a lot of stuff going on this week.
So for everyone here who comes here just for running, our running portion of the podcast is over. So if you don't want to hear me ramble on, thanks for coming. We'll see you in 2 weeks. We have a huge interview lined up that maybe I'm a little nervous for, but we're in the works.
We're going to keep this one on lockdown until we can actually make it happen. So do not knock on some wood. Here's some wood.
It is on lockdown. It will be happening sometime in the month of March. So hopefully it will be our next episode in 2 weeks. But anyways, all right. So off to the cool down. Okay, so for all you who listened last time, and maybe even previously, you knew I was going to Florida this past month. My wife Ashley had a work trip, and I chose to go with the kids and be in Florida versus stay home with the kids. So first things first, I said I would give you all a Spirit Airlines review as we took a chance and went on Spirit. So you always hear the bad takes, the horrible stories, and the terrible service, right? I've always heard this about Spirit. It's just everyone's like, oh, Spirit's awful. They stink. Well, don't believe everything you hear. Yes, it was the cheapest ticket. Yes, you had to pay for your drink or your snack if you wanted one. But the ticket was so much cheaper. We're spending $3 for a soda or $3 for a bag of chips was much more worth it than spending $200 more to sit on a plane where you get free drinking pretzels, right?
So what were we talking for a ticket? Like what kind of price? Was it a nonstop flight down?
It was direct flight Manchester to Orlando. I had to buy 2 seats and I paid $380. I had to buy my seat in Adeline's and I had a lap seat. Ashley, because it was a work trip, her work paid for her seat and a lap seat for one of the babies.
That's really not bad. 2 seats.
So both our flights took off and landed on time. That was a plus where you hear they're always late. And these flights weren't early in the morning, right? They were 7:15 p.m. and 3:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
The staff and everyone there was super awesome. Like I said, we had 3 kids. 2 of them were just 1-year-old twins, and they were fantastic. They were so helpful. They, would make funny faces, but the most helpful part was our seats weren't bought together. So when we purchased our seats, they weren't together, and I was really nervous about not sitting with Ashley and having one of the babies and needing to be like, here, feed him, right? So when we go check in, they made it happen. They made it work. In fact, on the flight back, they gave us the entire back row, not just the 3 seats, but all 6. And it was fantastic, and it was easy.
How'd the babies do on the flight?
They did good. The first flight, I will say the first flight was a booked flight, and so it was the 5 of us in 3 seats. They didn't sleep as much as we hoped, but they never acted like they had problems like with the what happens
the ears?
here. Yeah,
plugged ears and stuff. Yeah. Well, that's great.
So basically, my thing with Spirit was it was fine. You get what you pay for. Obviously, you got to pay for baggage, but we didn't have to pay for that because it was a work trip, so work paid for it. And you just get what you paid for. I will go again. Will I take the whole family on Spirit again? I'm not against it. In fact, they'll be flying direct to Myrtle Beach next month. So it's not the worst thing, but you get what you pay for. The seats were fine. They were thin and the cushion wasn't as thick as what you get on like American or JetBlue. You know, you got to pay for internet, but as I remember, you had to do that on JetBlue as well. You just download some shows, download On the Runs podcast, you're good to go.
So you said that they're flying direct from Manchester to Myrtle Beach soon?
So they fly direct from Manchester to Myrtle Beach. And that's next month. Oh, yeah. Hey.
Mom, I can come visit real cheap.
I bet you could visit for like less than $100 each way.
That'd be awesome.
And then they go to Orlando, Tampa, Fort Myers, and Jacksonville, Florida, all direct. Like my next cheapest flight was $200 more with the stop in Baltimore. I was like, no.
Yeah, that's not a selling point.
So that's your Spirit Airlines review. It's not that bad. Don't believe everything you read on the internet or on Facebook. You know, either listen to someone like me who's done it or go check it out for yourself. It wasn't that bad. So that was my Spirit Airlines review. You ready for the Florida trip review? Because this is going to get good.
You know, you already rubbed it in with with all of the fun videos you sent me at a certain amusement park. So, yes, tell everybody about it.
Okay, so here we go. Florida trip review. So Florida, as we all know, is always sunny and warm. How warm do you think it was about every day, Erica?
It's got to be at least 70.
It was in
and if it wasn't, then it's not worth it.
It was in the 80s every day.
80s. Ugh. I hate you.
I had to watch the kids, and that was fine. We hung out at the pool, but they also take 2 naps a day, so it was like hotel room pool. We did go to Disney Springs. We had one day with Ashley to go to Universal. So we went to Universal. I've never been. Ashley's been before. It was really cool. Harry Potter Land, super cool. Adeline got her wand, got to do a bunch of cool things, right?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
The coolest thing about Universal, and apparently Disney does not have this, so Disney, pay attention. They have something called Child Swap. Ashley and I would go in line, wait for a ride, call it Harry Potter, right? And then you would get to the end of the line where you're going to be going on in the next 5 minutes, and there'd be a room called Child Swap. So I would go in that room with Tommy and Tyler, and Adeline would go ride the ride with Ashley. After the ride, on their way out, there'd be a sign that says Child Swap this way, and I would go ride the ride with Adeline. So she would get to ride the ride twice.
So the babies would be too young to go on that ride, so that's why you would wait, and then you would get Adeline and you would get to go.
So exactly.
Yeah, that's how it works?
Instead of like me waiting outside the ride with the kids and then having to wait in line again to go do it, we both waited in line together, and then I waited in a room and other parents were there. It was fantastic. It was so cool.
That's cool.
And even when we did E.T., they let me and Adeline go on again. They're like, just go on again, because we had to go meet Adeline, or not Adeline. We had to go meet Ashley and the boys in the room, and they're like, you want to ride again? I'm like, yeah. E.T.
That's too cool.
So
was it not super busy down there this time of year? Like even because this was like February vacation week, pretty much.
It was. I guess the day we flew down was the day before New Hampshire school vacation, so it would have been mass. It was busy, but like we walked by. Okay, get this. At one point, we walked by the Harry Potter ride. Said it was a 90-minute wait, and I'm like, not doing it. 10 minutes later, it said 30-minute wait, and we jumped in line. We did the ride. Adeline got to do it twice. When we walked out, it was 120-minute wait.
Oof.
So 2 hours.
Yeah.
So was it busy? It could have been busier, but we were only there for the day. It was pretty cool. City Walk's cool, but that's not the best part of this week. All right. So we're going to fast forward here. Ashley was there for a trade show, and the trade show bought out one of the parks. They do this every year, whether it's Magic Kingdom or Epcot, Universal. Well, this year it was Universal Islands of Adventure, and Ashley didn't go. Guess who went in her spot? Me.
That's not fair.
So it was
That's so cool.
It was for free, and I went with all the work friends because I know them. And guess who else was there? I say we snuck in. Our friend Scott Black.
Nice. Way to go. Hey, Scott, we need you on this, by the way. So save some time for us.
Scott will be home.
Get his interviews.
He'll be home in April, so we'll be good. So I was lucky enough to go to the park this day for free. All the rides, right? The lines were super short. The food was free. The beer was free. Everything was free except for, if I wanted to buy a T-shirt. So, like I said, Scott joined us. They rent out everything. Everything's for free. The short lines. Here, I got 2 stories. First story. One of the guys, his name is Russ. Okay, we're in line for Jurassic Park. We were in line for probably 20 minutes, which is not bad. And as we're next to go, the roller coaster before us starts to go and leave, and this girl sticks out her hand towards Russ. They were talking before for a high five. So they high five, and then all of a sudden the ride stops.
What?
And someone saw it and hit the emergency stop button. Like
Because of a high five?
one, keep your hands and arms inside, people, okay? But two, for a high five, so you'd think no big deal. They couldn't unfix the ride, or they couldn't fix the ride. No one got to go. We were there for 20 more minutes waiting, and no one got to go. And the ride never worked again that night. I don't know what actually broke, like the button got stuck or something. But so we were joking that Russ had these powers, right? These powers to stop the ride. People
Power
even
to break roller coasters with nary a high five.
People even made emails after and sent them to all of us saying, like, if you see this man, stay away. He's a wizard. Do not high five him.
Oh man.
So
makes for a fun story, but that's kind of a bummer.
Well, so then we go to the other Harry Potter world. So there's a Harry Potter world at both, and you can actually take the Hogwarts train to get between Universal and Islands of Adventure. This place, for someone who doesn't really know anything about Harry Potter, it was epic. It was cool. And we did this one roller coaster where we're on a motorcycle with a little sidecar, right? And I do great on roller coasters. Up and down, I'm fine. But Universal has all these rides, and they're like simulator rides. So you sit in this, there's like 4 you across, and the thing moves slowly, but it makes you go forward and back, left and right. And like when a dragon, breathes fire, you get blown backwards. And what happens when you do that? Something called motion sickness. Yeah.
You don't have to tell me that. This is my exact experience when I went there, like way back in 2017. I had some not so good stomach issues at Universal. So
I got sick, and I'm like just trying to like, okay, buddy, pull it together. The ride's almost over, and as the ride's getting over and it stops, I have a little,
oh no,
a little throw up. Right in the mouth, and I would just like kind of like spit it out, and it wasn't that bad, right? And I'm like, no big deal, no big deal. And at first I was a little embarrassed, and then I go, yeah, that one got me a little bit. And they're like, oh, you got sick from that? And I'm like, just a little bit. And they're kind of laughing and think it's funny, and I'm like, I'm good. I just needed to get outside and get some air. So once I got outside, got some air, I'm like, I'm great. Grabbed the water, I stopped drinking. I honestly probably only had 3 beers. Steve Spain would say that's not good. You got to only have even, so 2, 4, 6, or 8. I only had 3. So I think I'm good, right? I think I'm good.
Yeah.
So we're walking out. We're going to go ride the Hulk for the second time. The Hulk is an epic roller coaster, and it's not like this simulation ride. And I get in line with 3 other people from this group. One happens to be the VP of sales, and then like the VP of distribution. And then Patrina, who, if you saw in my Snapchat, she's like super excited about the whole thing. She was like our tour guide, bringing us around, telling me everything about Harry Potter. Yeah. So we get in line for this, and I'm talking to these guys, because I know who they are, they know who I am, but we're getting to know each other a little bit better. We get on the ride, and right before the ride, I start to get a little nervous, a little anxious, like, oh, I don't know if I'm feeling good anymore. And I almost decide not to go on the ride. I'm like, I'm good. So the ride starts, and I'm like, I'm perfect. This is good. We're going up and down. We're going upside down. I'm like, I'm fine. And then right near the end, I get a little lightheaded again, and I feel a little nauseous.
Oh, no.
The ride stops at the end, and I'm like, I made it. I'm good. Breathe. And then you know how sometimes when the ride's rolling right up to the end, and it goes, right? Just stops. Before the next roller coaster goes off. Yep. And then all of a sudden, I blew chunks all to the left and all over my arm and my leg and on, like, how the harness pulls down, all in the harness. And I purposely sat on the end just so, like, if I blew chunks, I would go off to the side. But I couldn't
Thank God you turned your head the right way.
I did, but I couldn't even project it far enough away where it landed all on me. And I was oh my God. So here I am brushing it off on my arm and brushing it off on my leg, hoping no one notices. And there's no one in line to go next in my row. And I'm like, thank God. And I was in the second to last row. Well, as we're walking out, you go through these turnstiles or whatever. You're going out and you're walking the line and you're going back and forth. And this one guy, twice as I walk by him, gives me this nasty look. And I'm thinking first he's looking at me like, oh my God, that guy has puke all over him, which I took my hoodie off to make it look a little less. And then I realized that was the guy who was sitting behind me.
No. Oh, man. Oh, that's awful. Oh, you made an enemy for life.
I thought I was going to be, that wasn't a guy from work. It was just a random guy. But yeah, enemy for life.
So it's a little better.
I thought I was going to be like who everyone was laughing at the next day because I'm not at the trade show. Ashley was. And I told Ashley what happened. And Ashley said they all thought it was funny, but they kept making fun of Russell because of his high five.
I feel like that was the bigger blunder from that night, breaking down an entire ride. So yeah, you got off the hook.
I did, but man. I didn't expect to, but I did.
I'm very, very happy you saved that story for this. Yeah, he would not tell me this ahead of time. He's like, no, this has got to be for the pod. You got to listen to this. So well done, my friend. Well done.
So I'm feeling better now. It's been a few days.
So what lesson did you learn? Always take a Dramamine before going to an amusement park.
Well, Scott Black was like, he came to the hotel before and he went to Walgreens to get some. And I was like, grab me one. Like, I'll take it because I got seasick one time. It was the worst. And I knew from when I rode with Adeline, like, I got a little nauseous the very last ride of the day, which was Transformers. And it was that simulation ride, right? Mm-hmm. And it was a wicked cool ride, but I got a little nauseous. I'm like, just come on, pull it together, dude.
Literally, your story is exactly what happened to me when I went. We started off first thing in the morning and we did I don't think that dragon coaster's there at the Harry Potter World anymore, is it? They had a dragon coaster, but that was a loop-de-loop roller coaster. And my sister's like, let's go on it again. The line's really short. And I'm like, I don't think I can do it. And then what was the second ride we did? The Harry Potter simulator ride. And I was like, oh, this is a bad day for me. I was not feeling right for 2 whole hours and it kind of ruined it a little bit for us. But yeah, I feel you, man.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't blow chunks, but I get it.
I can say it was my first time blowing chunks riding roller coasters. So maybe it's a sign I'm getting old. But what did I learn? Nothing, because I would do it again.
4 beers next time.
4 beers. Yeah.
Keep it even.
Add a beer. Oh, it was a fun night, and I appreciate every one of them for letting me tag along. So that was fun. The rest of the trip, we went to Ashley's dad, his house. He lives in Florida. Spent 2 days there. Saw a space shuttle take off, or a rocket.
How cool is that?
It was pretty cool. You can see it from their backyard.
Very cool.
Yeah, we watched it on TV, and then we walked 13 feet outside the back door, and there it is, taking off. So, yeah, it was
very
wild.
Cool.
Anyways, that's my Florida trip. That's all I got. You got anything else for me?
You know what? I don't. I think we did it. I think episode 10 was a success.
I really hope so. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for coming on again and listening. You remember, you can check us out at Instagram at On The Runs. You can email us at ontherunspod@gmail.com. And Erica, you got anything?
The usual. Don't forget to stretch.
All right, guys. We'll see you in a couple weeks with hopefully a big interview. So enjoy, guys.
Stay tuned.